Neurodiversity presents a unique set of challenges. For me, it's some of the simple day-to-day things. For example, catching up with someone for a coffee. Now, personally, I try to avoid catching up for a cuppa with someone at a cafe or restaurant. It's not that I don't like cafes or restaurants, it's just they're too loud for me. I find I cannot concentrate on what's being said. I'm just overwhelmed by the noise because my auditory sensitivity means that I hear everything that's going on. So I'm not just hearing what the person I'm with is saying, but I'm hearing what the people around the tables around me are saying. I'm hearing what's going on in the kitchen. I'm hearing the cashier. I'm hearing I'm hearing the cars outside. I am overwhelmed by the sound and the lights, the fizzing. It just drives me nuts. So wherever possible, I prefer to catch up one-on-one with a person in their own home. And it's specifically, I prefer to go to their house rather than have them at my house because I feel intense pressure to have everything perfect if someone's coming to my house. I rarely let people through the front door. This is me a week or so ago trying to work out or trying to work through the process for having a cuppa at the house of somebody I know. So I wasn't going to see a complete stranger. This was someone that lives locally that I know. Good morning. Today's episode is just a short one based on how do you visit people? When you have all these social challenges, how do you go about actually going around to somebody's house and having a cuppa? Now, there's this lady in town that, I really like, and I've caught up with her, a few times. I tried to join a knitting group and she's a member of a knitting group and all that's all fine. Now, I kind of like this person. Now, we've decided that we'd like to catch up for coffee. This is quite a challenge. Firstly, how many changes of clothes do you go through before working out what to wear to have a cup of coffee with somebody? What to wear is always a challenge. Not just from the point of view as what do I look like, but it's knowing that really I'm going to have to be uncomfortable when I go out, because you can't go to the shops or you can't go around to visit people, you can't go out anywhere barefoot wearing an old pair of tracksuit pants, a baggy t-shirt or a hoodie and no bra. But clothing is a real problem. Anything that's tight or itchy or anything with labels. So this I'm wearing now might be around my neck, but it's really loose and it's actually really soft, so I don't mind that. But in general, I'd really like to walk around barefoot in tracky dacks and t-shirt, no bra, and you just can't go out like that. So that's number one before you leave the house, trying to work out what you can wear that's going to give you enough level of comfort, but still look respectable enough to interact with other people or go to the shops. The second issue is doors. And I know doors sounds funny, but if you live in the city or something, it's very, very clear what door you walk into, because there's generally a gate or there's a clear entrance into the property and there's a front door. Now, when you live in the country town, it's not like that. There's this sort of hierarchy of, I don't know, there seems to be a social hierarchy about going indoors. So some people are welcome to go in back doors, side doors, front doors. Now, I happen to know with this particular lady, it's okay. We go in her side door. But in general, if I want to go around to visit someone, I'm like, oh no, what door do I go into? Do I know this person well enough to knock at the back door, the side door, or should I just stick to the front door? Which gate do I go through? Where do I park my car? Is it too personal to park in a driveway? Should I park around the corner? All of these things are decisions that have to be made. I can't just sort of go, I'm popping around for a coffee. That doesn't work. In fact, yesterday I had some flowers that I knew somebody would like. So I drove around to their house, I put a bunch of flowers on their porch and ran away. I did not know quite what I was supposed to do or how I would explain that I knew this lady wanted these flowers because I'd seen it on Facebook, so I was going to give them to her, but I did not know how to, what else I was supposed to do. So it's like, quickly, I have some flowers, let's go and stick them on her doorstep and run away. So yeah, I didn't know what to do there. So today I then have the thing, there'll be a choice of tea and coffee. I then have to calculate what time of day it is, how much I've consumed, what's going to be most appropriate. Do I take cake? Do I take biscuits? Do I make something up specially? I know what to do in this particular instance with this lady, but generally if I have to go to somebody else's house, I wonder, are they gluten intolerant? Are they vegan? Should I pick something up from a shop? Should I make it myself? What should it contain? Should it be sweet? Should it be savoury? Should it be... And then what are we going to talk about? I can't do small talk. Autistic people generally can't do small talk. And I know that in general people are not interested in my special interests. So, and there's this whole, people ask, how are you? That is not a question you're actually allowed to answer. And this confuses me. Why are you not allowed to answer that question? Why are you supposed to say, I'm fine, when really you're not? Socialising is a challenge. Another challenge I find is how you actually greet people. For me, there is no way I can do this whole, social female thing where you go up and you do sort of like weird kissy things on people's cheeks. So that's one of the benefits of COVID. People don't expect you to touch them. So no handshaking, no kissing. COVID, bad. Social distancing, good. I tend to be either very monotone and hello, or overly animated. Hi, really happy to see you. And I might be pleased to see that person, but I'm probably not like that enthusiastically happy. But I haven't quite found the middle ground as yet. So how do you say hello to a person properly? I tend to spend ages in front of the mirror before I go out, practicing pulling faces and different ways to say hi to try and work out what is the right level. Now, I think I get it right most of the time, but not always. And I'm completely thrown if somebody else turns up or somebody else is there, because then I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? I have not rehearsed for this scenario. I haven't worked out how to say hello to the new person or the unexpected person. Do they need an entirely different type of hello? They might do. I haven't thought about it. And then I'll go into complete, I can't speak, must be super, super quiet because I'm not quite sure what to do. And then I find myself staring at them and nodding. Okay, so now I am parked in a car, getting all prepared to visit a person that I know reasonably well, but still, I need to prepare myself before I actually go into the house. So this person lives within walking distance to my house. I can be there in 10 minutes on foot. Normally I would walk. Today, I'm not sure about that. I wasn't comfortable in my shoes, so I didn't want to walk. And I also wanted to try and explain to you guys how difficult these simple things are. So I thought I'd drive around the corner. Now I'm a little bit early, so I'm parked in a car park outside a public toilet. Conversations with people. Socializing is very difficult. I don't necessarily pull the right faces, apparently, or use the right body language. In fact, when I had my assessment report, the assessor commented on the fact that I looked really, really worried throughout the interview. I was really surprised by this because I thought, well, I wasn't worried. I deliberately put my I am very interested in what is happening face on. And that's what I thought I was doing. So I was a bit confused when she said that I was looking worried. So I asked my best friend, I said, this is what's happened. She thinks that I looked worried throughout the whole thing. You know, I had my interested face on. Does anyone else practice faces for everything? You know, it really is putting on a physical mask, putting on a physical mask of makeup and a physical mask of face pulling. I mimic. I live my life on mimicking things, but I don't necessarily get them right. And he looked at me and he said, okay, well, show me what face you put on when you had your assessment. So I showed him the face and he laughed at me. He said, no, that is a worried face. So I have probably spent many years going out, attempting to socialise whilst looking really, really worried about everything that's going on. So I think that might be another reason I don't get invited to places very much, because I look worried the entire time I'm there. I don't know how to contribute to the conversation, so I spend a lot of time nodding and doing this. The other really difficult thing with any kind of socialising is when to go. When is time up? I don't pick up on these social cues, so I'm not sure when I'm supposed to leave. I have no idea generally. So I'll get to a certain point, or there might be a slight lull in the conversation, and I'll go, okay, I think it's time to leave. So I will start to thank the person, because you thank the person, and then get ready to leave. And then I get completely confused if someone goes, oh no, you don't have to rush off yet, sit down. I then go, oh, now what do I do? I have to sit down and try and have more conversation. This is a very difficult thing to continue to do. And how do I know when the conversation is supposed to stop? And it floors me. And I think I then, from that point, tend to overstay my welcome, because I don't know when I'm actually supposed to leave. And if I do catch up with someone, they're generally a very polite person who is not going to be rude to me and say, Nick, it's time you went. Have you been here long enough? No, people aren't going to say that to me. So I get a bit stuck. So socialising is extremely difficult for someone like me.